Maybe in real time it's April of my 52nd year, but in my mind it's August, and counting backward I think the year must be 1970. I'm 10 years old, Maddie's age, and I'm sure I've been sitting in our little country church for at least a century. But of course at 10, so much feels that way. 10 yards in front of me, the preacher slaps his Bible against our pulpit, one my grandmother is particularly proud of, since her own father carved it from a fallen black walnut tree. When I was 6, Gran pointed out the stump of the pulpit tree in a wooded clump not far from her kitchen garden. Sometimes now I go there to think, especially when Hardy comes home drunk, which is most of the time. I'm startled by the slapping noise, and only Gran's withered arm across my chest keeps me from diving under the pew in front of us. "Lottie Lou, you sit up now, and no more dozing," she whispers to me as she hauls me closer, "else you'll end up being the example in this fool's sermon. You get my meaning?" The preacher screeches the same words again. He's a guest in the pulpit of our church, the Trust Independent Baptist Church, because the regular preacher, equally loud but less given to repetition, is hauling a truckload of hand-harvested burley tobacco to Raleigh. Preaching is something he does on the side, for the sake of the Lord. The guest preacher farms tobacco too, but his is as sorry as his sermons, so it isn't likely he'll need a truck or a trip any time in the near future. He's as scrawny as a cornstalk in a drought, and he drools when he shouts, so now his chin glistens. I wriggle on the unpadded bench to get blood flowing to my backside. The service started with hymns, then the preacher demanded we stop singing so he could preach, which he's been doing forever. I worry we'll be here another hour or more. And while we listen to Preacher Pittman's substitute fumble with words, what will Hardy Hale be doing? It's as hot inside as it would be if we were standing full in the sunshine. All week the church is closed up, and it takes more than half an hour to suck out the heat before the services. The building sits to the side of a country road, and there's no electricity for fans, although we have a wood stove for winter. Windows dot the walls to let in what breeze can be had, but we have no screens. Wasps fly in and out and circle the freshly washed heads of worshippers. I have nothing to do except think about the words that brought me so fully awake. I can't picture a God who not only knows when everybody on earth is going to die, but keeps track of the information too. I wonder if he makes notes, or if he can just snap his fingers and call up whatever he needs in an instant. I imagine God pointing and shouting, "You over there, your day'll be July 17th, 1977, and not an hour later. And if I was you, I wouldn't bother taking out pork chops when you get up that morning. You won't be needing them." When I giggle, Gran pokes me with her elbow. I look for something else to occupy my mind. I settle on a girl who's 2 years ahead of me in school, and 2 rows in front of me now. She has white blonde hair, wispy and fine, and she's pulled it back from her face with a black velvet hairband that has a bow on the side, anchored with a cluster of rhinestones. Her name is Sally Claver, and she lives not far away, in a brand new house, brought in by truck and set right down on a slab of concrete. The house is the color of a creek bottom, with a porch in front, just big enough for a pot of flowers and a doormat with welcome printed nice and proper on it. The old house, where Sally used to live, is still standing back behind some trees, but it's boarded up now, and most likely full of mice and hornets' nests. Sally's daddy runs cattle and fattens more from his acres of corn. Mr. Claver grows more tobacco than anybody else in the vicinity. I wonder what that would be like, having a house nobody else ever lived in, having enough cattle to eat beefsteak every night, having money to just walk into a store and buy